up, YouTube? My name is Carly Fries. Today I'm going to do a very special video with this guy because as much as I love reading books, most of these on this shelf are actually his. So I found someone who likes to read books as much as me. So God bless. This is my boyfriend Cameron, and I thought that it would be a cool change of pace to have him in the video since he does read a lot of the same books that I do, so he could weigh in on his opinions on this topic as well. This month I'm actually going to forego doing my regular books that I've read this month video because last month I did mention thinking about rereading some of the books in the Shadowhunter Chronicles universe by Cassandra Clare. So I read them all. I reread the Mortal Instruments series, all 6 of them. I reread the Infernal Devices actually before that, and now I'm rereading Lady Midnight to prepare myself for, wait, it's over here, Lord of Shadows.
Which is also mine, by the way. Because they're all mine.
They're all yours. Yeah, so we got this in the mail this week, and I just need to finish Lady Midnight so that I can start reading this book. And my original plan was to read this book this month, as well as the new book in the The Court of Wings and Ruin, which he actually read. No spoilers.
It's really good.
But I wanted to read both of those this month, and I didn't. So yeah, instead of just not making a book-related video this month, I decided why not just come up with something that I can talk about, and I thought underrated books and book series because that is an important topic to talk about. I decided to do this video as well just because I needed a replacement video for this month, but the original video that I wanted to make with Cameron is the Guess That Character challenge that people have been doing, where you write down the name of a character and you put it on your head like headbands with literary characters from like young adult books. And a lot of people do this online, and it's so funny, and I wanted to see how well we would do. So yeah, if you want to see us do that, I'm not sure when I'm going to be posting that video, but it'll probably be in the next month or so look out for that. And yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna win.
Probably.
Today I would like to talk about some underrated books and book series like that I've read and that I think that other people should read, but nobody's talking about them, or at least I don't hear people talking about them. So I'll just start out right away by saying that the Gone series by Michael Grant is probably one of the book series that I think is the most underrated because nobody knows this book series. I think that people should know about this book series and go and read it. There's 6 books in the series, yeah, and they're so good. Basically, it's like this, what do you call it? Paranormal? No, well, what category of book series would you say this is?
Yeah, I mean, it's paranormal.
It's not though, 'cause it's not like vampires or anything.
Yeah, but they have superpowers.
Yeah. I don't know, like fantasy.
It's fantasy.
It's not fantasy. There's no dragons! I hate, like, there's so many subgenres that, okay, I'll just tell you the plot, and you can tell me what you can decide what you think the genre of the book is. Basically, one day in this little town, everyone over the age of 15 disappears, and there's like this dome around their town, and then some of the kids start to develop superpowers, and there's like a war between different groups of kids, and a whole bunch of people die, and there's evil people, and basically they're trying to figure out how to get out of the dome. So
once again, descriptions on point.
I'm not good at describing books, but it's really good. Like, it's like a what if. It's one of those really good like what if books. Like, what if one day just all the adults like went away and kids were in charge, because that's fucking terrifying. And like I love reading books that are like, you know, things that would most likely never happen. And
superpowers, yeah,
and there's so many characters that are in this book series, and more get introduced like as the books go along, and there's there's so many characters that are likable. Like, even the bad characters are likable. It's a good book series with a really interesting concept. The writing's good. Michael Grant is an underrated author, I would also obviously say. Yeah, this is definitely, I would start off the video by definitely mentioning this one. That's not underrated.
Fuck you. I never heard about this book series, ever, until like I ran...
If you watch BookTube, they talk about it.
Okay, well, I don't watch a lot of BookTube, but I randomly saw this in Indigo once and then bought it online and then read it.
Are you gonna say what it's the title?
I'm getting there. It's the Six of Crows trilogy. Duology, actually, because there's only 2 books. But it's by, I can't say her name.
It's Leigh Bardugo.
Bardugo, okay, I can never say her last name. But she also writes the Grisha trilogy, which is like the...
that one I would say is probably more...
It's more underrated because it's not as good. Like this duology is like really, really well written. The story itself is very compelling, and the characters in it are all, again, very, very like likable. And
I have not read it yet. So.
Yeah, you should, because it's really good. It has like a lot of different aspects to it, and it's really, it's almost like a, I guess, supernatural because there are people with powers like the Grisha, but there's a lot more like mystery and almost like crime solving in it in a way.
I do want to read it
because
people talk about it though, so I wouldn't say it's underrated because I've heard about it and I've heard good things.
See, I never heard about it, and I still, even after reading it, when we went to Comic-Con, there was a girl with a cane, and it literally had the crow cane, like the crow head on top of the cane. I was like, oh, it's basically like Kaz, who's the main character in this book. And she's like, oh my god, yes, I've been saying that all day and nobody knows what I'm talking about. Meaning that literally all the nerds at Comic-Con are all like,
because no one at Comic-Con reads except comic books.
I would say 13 Reasons Why was until the fucking thing came out.
That's true, actually. We have 13 Reasons Why. Get it.
Do we?
Get it. Get it.
Oh, we do.
We have it in the original cover because fuck the Netflix cover.
Because we had this like a long time ago. We both read it.
Can we not be hipsters right now?
I know. But we both read it years ago.
I read it like 30 times, but like I read it when it first
And this was very underrated. Like you introduced this to me, I read it, I cried. It was good.
Literally, no one knew what 13 Reasons Why
and then all of a sudden it's on Netflix.
Until it came out on Netflix, and everyone's like, oh my god, welcome to your tape. I'm like, I've been saying that for...
Bitch, I started that. No, it was definitely underrated for a long time until the Netflix series came out, because after the Netflix series, everyone's like, of course I know 13 Reasons Why. But before that, if you told them the standalone book, they were like, who?
That's true, because Jasher doesn't actually have that many books. If people do know what the book is, they all say like it's amazing.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of people I think that haven't read this book that like should, especially if you've watched the Netflix series, read the book too. It's pretty...
It follows the same storyline in a sense, but there's a lot of changes that like are just subtle, but they make the difference between the book and this like the TV series. I think the biggest main difference, the fact that this TV series happens over like a month. And this is like a night.
It's months, I think, actually.
Okay, but this happens, like the book happens over a night, so you don't actually get to see all the characters like you do in the TV.
Clay doesn't take a sweet-ass time listening to the tapes in the book.
I think that's just, I don't know, that changes like the perspective of the book a little bit.
Yeah, but that's because it takes place over one night. I feel like the only logical way to read this book is all in one sitting. You have to read this all in one sitting. And I feel like the experience of doing that is just so, like, amazing. I don't know. I had a good, like, every time I read this book, I'm like, ah! So, like, I feel like more people should read the book. Especially if they've seen the series and haven't read the book. Like, why? See, people talk about Graceling by Kristen Kishore, but they don't talk about the other 2 books in the series, Fire and Bitter Blue, as much. So I feel like Graceling, like people who know this book, like people know this book, they know this cover. This cover is actually pretty recognizable. And I feel like people just talk about this book. They don't talk about the other 2 books, even though this is the kind of series where I find that all 3 of the books are fairly equal in terms of how good they are. So I feel like the other 2 books, especially Bitter Blue, is underrated, because Bitter Blue I actually enjoyed the most out of the 3 of them. And you'd think I wouldn't, because most people's favorite character is a protagonist of this one, Katza. So, I don't know, I feel like...
Yeah, because you said it was like different stories within the 3 different books,
right?
Because I haven't read...
all 3 books, the protagonists are different, and the second book technically is considered the second in the series, but it's really a prequel series, which the numbering of the books in the series make no sense. But nevertheless, underrated. Underrated, I say.
So another book that I find a little bit underrated is Eon by Alison Goodman. You got this book for me for my birthday, which like literally I had never heard of it before, and it does have another book afterwards, Iona. But basically it's about a girl where if you're a little bit familiar with like Chinese mythology, there's like the different dragon, rabbit, the different types of the calendars that each year is. And then each year when that happens, a new person inherits the spirit of that animal. So like when the year of the rabbit comes around, it transfers from the old owner to like the new owner, and there's like this young person who comes about having all these powers.
Are people trying to break into our apartments?
Maybe. So like this girl gets the power of the dragon, even though it's not the year of the dragon, and it's kind of her story about why she gets it. And it's really good, and I really enjoy it.
That description makes me want to read that book. I still haven't.
No, it's really good, and the reason it's called Iona is because that's her name, but they call her Eon because you can't inherit a power if you're a girl, but she's a girl, so it's kind
sexist.
of, yeah, it's, well, Chinese. Hey, cut that. But yeah, so
I'm gonna leave that in.
it's a really good book. I find it underrated because I don't know anybody else who has read this, or even owns this, or has ever talked about it.
Or who knows what it is.
Yeah.
Last, but like not least for sure, because I do think it's like super underrated, is the Ink Art Trilogy by Cornelia Funk, because after that terrible movie was made, everyone just kind of swept it under the rug and never spoke of it again.
Why is the daughter British but the dad's not?
That was a bad movie. The actual series is really, really good. I've read it probably twice, and like the characters are so easy to fall in love with, and like it's very fantasy based, and there's just a lot going on. You have not read it.
I read the first book, and then the movie came out.
A long time ago.
And then I read like 4 lines the second book and was like, and I just gave up like 4 times.
But that's where it gets.
And then I just stopped. I think, to be honest, it's because the book became a movie, and I was like, this movie's a piece of shit, and I just stopped reading them.
Yeah. No, I think I read all 3 of them before it became a movie, but like since the movie, I had to reread them to like get it out of my brain. Yeah. Like get it out and put this one back in. But I mean, it's an old series, so I feel like people who did have the chance to read it, you know, they appreciate it, but like people still talk about books that were written 20, 30 years ago and how good they are, but no one talks about Ink Art, and it's a good book. Basically, if you've never heard of it, or I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, I mean,
or if you saw the movie, because it doesn't do a good job with the.
It was really different. There was like a tornado at the end. I don't know. Like, fuck the movie. Basically, Megan and her father, you know, they have their life, and she thinks everything's normal. She loves books. She loves reading. And basically what her dad, Mortimer, does is he repairs books, like he like rebinds them and stuff. What her dad's secret is that if he reads from a book, he can actually like bring objects out of it, or alternatively, by accident sometimes, put things into the book or people. So basically, this has been a blessing and a curse, well, mostly a curse probably, and because of that, they end up having to go into a book because of a thing. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, I'm definitely compelled to read it again. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no. So basically, they have to go inside of a book to do something. But it's just the fact of being able to go inside of a book is every single book lover's dream. Like, imagine like being able to like read from a book and like you just like go inside of it, like your favorite book, like.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a few books that you wouldn't want to go into because it's all about war and death and shit, and you're like, that'd be so cool, fantasy world, and you just die because you're a lonely little human.
I just want to go into Harry Potter so I can go Accio phone when it's
Bitch, you still a muggle in that realm.
No, I'm crushing my dreams. It's just the idea of being able to go into a book is so cool, and it's well executed.
Executed? Well, they execute.
That's not a word. It's well executed in the book, not the movie. And there's a lot of real good characters. Like, I need to reread this series. It's so good. So yeah, that's all the books that we have to talk about today. And if you enjoyed this kind of video, then please give us a thumbs up and write in the comments down below what kind of books that you've read that you think are underrated, that people should know more about.
And maybe we'll read them, if we haven't already.
Excuse you. And also write in the comments if you enjoyed this type of video. It's a little different.
Because I'm here. Bye.
If you want to see this guy again, then yeah, let us know. Subscribe. Yes, please subscribe to my channel as well. We would really appreciate it. I would appreciate it. He doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, sure. I gotta point to it, so you're gonna have to annotate it here. Fuck you.
Do what?
The subscribe button.
No, it always goes down here, you stupid fucker.
Well, no.
It always goes here.
No, you're gonna go here.
It's gonna go here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!